Hey guys, if you're not watching live, I'm gonna go give me a minute as you're coming in, you're seeing this, but I gotta gather some people and let them know that I am live because I really didn't give people a clear time on when we were gonna do this, which is typical of what I would do because I'm just not that organized. I need to get better organized for y'all because if I want y'all truly to come on, it's not fair if I'm not going to be organized about it. So let's go live on TikTok for a minute so that everybody. Oh, I don't want to. Just go live, whatever. Hey, green-eyed girl, how you doing? Thanks for coming on tonight. We're going to be talking about Ambrosia. So, are you familiar with Ambrosia, the company LLC? I got to be careful because I'm live on TikTok and I'm not really sure hey, Jen, I'm not really sure the rules on YouTube yet. So, we're going to learn the hard way, I'm sure. But it's going to be interesting to say the least. So, my man sent me on this rabbit hole, told me about this company. Hey, Be Kind. Told me about this company called it's called Ambrosia, and it's about blood transfusions. So it's very interesting to me. It was a company back in 2019, and that was the last they kind of talked about it, and then the company kind of disappeared. But it's relevant today because there's another story where a guy is basically following along these same lines, and he wants to use the same methods to try and make himself younger. So if you guys are just joining on TikTok and you guys are seeing this, I'm on YouTube and we're going to go live on YouTube. We're going to talk about this Ambrosia LLC, and I want us to work together as a team to kind of go down this rabbit hole together and get to the bottom of what is going on with this whole theory and idea. Now, I've talked about this on TikTok before, and there's a lot of things I'm not allowed to say. So we're going to see what YouTube lets us get away with. But I also want to talk about some other things. I want to talk about the P. Diddy thing. I want to talk about Mama Tot and that situation, the drama with Cody and Kendra and Udi and, all the TikTokers that are now on the For You page with all this drama. What does it mean? Is it a distraction? What could it be a distraction from? All these things I want to talk about. So let's see, what were some other things that I had thought about that I wanted to talk about tonight? P. Diddy was a big one because have you guys listened to the lyrics of some of the songs by like the Notorious B.I.G. and P. Diddy? Like now these lyrics to these songs going back, knowing what we know now and listening and reading the words. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate you. It's red flag for sure, and it's like wow. It was right in our faces. It was right in our faces. So I want to let's start with that. Let's start with Diddy and the BIG. What hold on, guys. Notorious BIG song Hypnotize Me. That was the one. Lyrics. Yeah, let's look at the lyrics. So I was reading the lyrics to this earlier and I was like, OMG. OMG. All right, so hold up. Wait a minute. I need some. Okay. All right. So if you guys are if you guys are on TikTok, I'm gonna have to get off of TikTok now because we're about to talk about some stuff that TikTok. I don't want to get any trouble here. So if you're on here, come join us on YouTube. Follow the link up in my bio and share it out with everybody. You guys share this live out with everybody so that we can get as many people over here as we can to join in the fun. We're going to go down a rabbit hole together. I need y'all's help. I need y'all's input. So we're going to do some research together, put in some comments, and tell me what y'all think. Okay. So I love y'all. So I hope you see me over on YouTube. Okay. So I'm going to thank you guys so much for coming over here. I really appreciate y'all. Oh, for the laser Avalon, for the laser engravings, let me just put my phone number here in the comments. If you guys are interested in any laser engravings or any tattoo work, I put my phone number in the comments. Please reach out to me, shoot me a text. I know some people are like, do you have a website? Do you have a link? Some people want to go online and order stuff. Everything I do is custom. Okay. So everything I do is custom. And for that reason, I like to talk to you on a one-on-one basis and make sure what I'm doing is exactly what you want and how you want it. So it's important that you text me. If you call me, I probably won't answer because I screen all my calls. And if you don't leave a message, I won't know who you are. But if you text me, I'll know exactly, just send me a picture, send me a message. Hey, I'm interested in your laser engravings, and hit me up and I'll get back to you when I can. And we'll discuss it. We'll have a consultation and I'll give you all the options and let you know. Thank you, Avalon. So yes, I want to make sure that I'm putting that out there for y'all. And let me just really quickly here, because I just made a video. Let me share little shameless promotion for myself. If you guys can see this is just, oh, you're not going to be able to see that. Darn it. You know what? I got an ideas. That's okay. I don't need you. We'll make it work. So this is the way we're going to do it right here. I wonder. Red Rover. Oh, I bet y'all can't see that. No, some tells me they're not going to let you see that. Can I screen share that? No, I can't screen share that. Hold up. Wait a minute. So we make wood burns. I do tattoos. We have a shop over in Daytona. If you guys aren't familiar with the Daytona flea market, I think it's the best place on earth. I love flea markets. I love hanging out at the flea market. I like shopping at the flea market. I'm all about small business. No, I don't do any work for reconstructions. It's not that kind of lasering. So we have a shop down at the Daytona flea market and we make wood burns. So just to show you guys here. Yeah. Oh, I don't even think that's going to work. You know what? Just check out my latest video on TikTok, my last video on TikTok when you get a chance, and then you'll see what we do. And I'm going to pin it to the top of my page because I'm not even going to waste time talking about that because we're not here for that right now. Y'all know what I do. Y'all know what I'm into. Hit me up for a tattoo. All right, so Notorious B.I.G. Let's get into it. He's sicker than your average Papa Twist cabbage off instinct. Oh gosh, let me get down to the nit and gritty because there's a part in here where it's like, mm, okay, right here. I don't even know if I can get away with saying half of this stuff on YouTube. I might get in trouble if I get banned. Y'all know. All right, so it says here, I put hose in New York into DKNY. Miami, DC prefer Versace. That's right. All Philly hoes go with Machino. Every cutie with a booty bought a Coogie. Now who's the real dookie? Meaning, who's really the shit? Them ends ride dicks. Frank White, push the 6 or Lexus LX 4.5, bulletproof glass. Tense if I want some ass. Gonna blast. Squeeze first. Ask questions last. So he's not like that to me. Sounds like essay, like they don't even care. Like they're just the way that they're talking about women. Like I'm not even gonna ask these women. I'm just gonna grab them first, ask questions later, and that's how most of these so-called gangsters pass. It says at last ends rapping about blunts and broads, tits and bras, menage a trois, sex and expensive cars. I'll still leave you on the pavement, condo paid for, no car payment. At my arraignment, note for the plaintiff, your daughter's tied up in a Brooklyn basement. Face it, not guilty. That's how I stay filthy. Not guilty, richer than Richie. Till you ends come and get me. Come on. So, like, he is. Let me see. I didn't even share this right. Hold up. Hold up. Can you guys see this? Look at this, these lyrics, okay? Right here. Your daughter's tied up in a Brooklyn basement. Like, was he trying to tell us something? Was he basically like to me, that sounds like he's basically talking about a trafficking ring, like they got people tied up in a basement. Like, what? And it's right there in the lyrics of the song. And this isn't the only song with the red flags. Like, now that we know what we know, it's like, whoa, whoa, that's a little freaky. And that's a little scary. That's a little scary because, like, not only were, I mean, just thinking about like P. Diddy and he got arrested with all those baby oil, and then they're saying it's GHB, and this is the allegations that are being made. Of course, everything in this video is speculation, is my opinion. Don't take anything that I'm saying in here as factual. Do your own research. Go down the rabbit hole yourself. Disclaimer, disclaimer. What we're doing in here is fair use. But do the research for yourself. It's right there in the lyrics, and you can see it right there that they're basically telling you what they're doing. And, like Cindy says right here, disgusting, and people singing along to it and like not even realizing that this shit's real. Like, this is nasty, like what they're getting away with and doing. So, if somebody would have said 5 years ago, 10 years ago, what's going on and what Hollywood's into, I mean, you'd be called a conspiracy theorist, right? you'd be called a conspiracy theorist. So I would have to say I'm a conspiracy theorist. I, I like to go down the rabbit holes and explore the conspiracies. Are they true? Could they be true? What's the possibilities that this is true? Because conspiracy yesterday, fact today. And this is something that is coming to reality now. And Jennifer, I'm with you. I don't follow P. Diddy. I never did. I'm not a big, like, I listen to country. It's not the type of music that I really listen to. And I never was into B.I.G. or any of the rappers. But the fact is that this is, hugely popular in our country today and in our culture. And, there's a lot of people that do look up to this music and to these musicians and to these, they're famous, popular, rich, and they're bragging about harming children. He's writing it in a song and basically telling you, like, I got your daughter tied up in my basement. What? And now it's all coming to light that there is, this Epstein trafficking ring, and, all these celebrities are attached to it, which again, what's truth and what's reality and what's fiction and what's conspiracy. Well, we know that Epstein was arrested. We know that Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested and found guilty in a court of law, but we don't have Epstein's client list. We don't know, there's so much we don't know. We don't have answers and we don't have justice for. And I think that until we do, it's important that we keep talking about it and bringing these things to light and making sure that people are aware of the dangers, because, our kids, even adults, look up to celebrities and look up to, these big influencers on social media and stuff like that. And a lot of people have no idea what's going on behind the scenes and what these people are really into. And they take somebody that's popular and they just idolize them. And it's very dangerous, very dangerous. Yeah, I wonder if anybody asked him what his songs were about or question him on it. I mean, they're, like you said, Ada, they're in your face disgusting with this blatant behavior. It's right there, and they don't even try and hide it. And this is just one of the songs, it's all over, Reddit and the internet, where they're talking about how these songs didn't age very well. And it's just true. And this isn't the only song. There's multiple songs. I haven't gone down that deep in the rabbit hole. If y'all know other songs that you want to talk about or you want me to show, let me know. I'll throw it up in the box on the screen. But that was the one that was like, that was a hugely popular song, Hypnotize. I mean, that's a really popular song. And even the main chorus line, I think almost everybody knows that. But when it comes to the rest of the song, we all blurt out the chorus, but then the rest of the song turns into a mumble. And you can't even hardly understand what they're saying, yet alone grasp what they're really talking about. And that's, you wonder how much of it is subliminal messages that are getting through to people on some sort of subliminal wavelength. It's a little bit scary to think of it like that. So thinking about celebrities and the conspiracy theories that surround celebrities, one of the biggest conspiracy theories is about adrenochrome, right? Have you all ever heard of adrenochrome? So adrenochrome being when, the theory is the speculation, the conspiracy. And it's funny, they even talk about it in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Johnny Depp, where one of the characters, talks about adrenochrome. And it's something that's talked about in different movies and different settings. And, it's this big mystery. Is it real? Is it not real? Again, this is a conspiracy theory, and we're here to question, could it be possible? Could it be true? Well, there's this theory going around that celebrities are drinking the blood of babies. And a lot of this came from a little girl and a little boy in England, I believe it was, where they, let me see if I can find it. She was, her dad, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. There's this video going around of this little girl, and she talks about how her, and I want to say it was at the Vatican. I don't know if it was at the Vatican or another big church over in Italy or over in England. They try and delete it off the internet. But her and her brother talk about how they were part of this church and their dad was part of this church, and he made them go and behead these babies, and they were eating the babies and drinking their blood. And these two little kids talk about this story, and they talk about it in depth. They're interviewed by a couple of detectives on several different occasions, and you can see in the video it spans over a length of time, because you can see they're interviewed like 3 different times, and they're wearing 3 different outfits, and they're asked similar questions with each interview, but they answer them pretty much the same every time. Which, if you've ever, listen to people talk about when people lie, they can never keep their story straight. Every time it changes a little bit, but these kids were like on point. Every time the story was exactly the same, and they would describe, going downstairs into this room and going to the cabinet to get the thing that pours the, the vials or whatever. And so this story went viral, and because of this story, they got a lot of attention, the church as a whole, for basically for this whole idea that they're drinking young blood, and that somehow this is like a fountain of youth, and that it is making people younger. So when you go up and you look up adrenochrome, right? Adrenochrome. Let's see what it says. So it's a QAnon is what they call it, a QAnon conspiracy theory. So this is what the Wikipedia says about it. Wikipedia says that it is a chemical compound produced by the oxidation of adrenaline, epinephrine. It was subject of limited research from the 1950s through the 1970s as a potential cause of schizophrenia. While it has no current medical application apart from EpiPens, the semi-carbazade derivative carbazochrome is a hemostatic medication. So here you go. It's what is adrenochrome used, and why are conspiracy theories obsessed with it? So adrenochrome has been mentioned heavily across social media as QAnon's bizarre conspiracies become spoken about more and more, with the unexpected box office hit The Sound of Freedom. The adrenochrome conspiracy has become part of mainstream conversations. The chemical compound was the subject of limited research from the 1950s to the 1970s and was believed to be a potential cause for schizophrenia. It currently has no medical application. Yeah, see, now they took a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So despite the adrenochrome conspiracy theory spiking in popularity in recent years, theories around adrenochrome can actually be traced back to the 70s. Hunter Thompson's 1971 novel, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, depicted adrenochrome as a psychedelic extracted from humans. the more recent reiteration of the conspiracy theory baselessly claims that Hollywood and Democratic elites kidnap and torture children to harvest adrenochrome from them. It's a large part of the conspiracy group QAnon, who also believes that a satanic child sex trafficking ring is organized by political and Hollywood elites. So this basically ties into, you know, the whole P. Diddy scandal amplifies this conspiracy theory and the ideas that are running rampant within the conspiracy theory community. And it's very easy to make these connections to say, well, there's an underground trafficking ring going on with these celebrities. You have Epstein, who was arrested, you know, Ghislaine Maxwell. Now you got P. Diddy. You got, you know, him telling stories, and Justin Bieber coming out and telling stories of, you know, what they have to do to become famous and become popular and how it works. And there's, you know, you have George Carlin, and there's a club, and, you know, basically you're not in it, and it's like this secret organization. So there are different celebrities that are kind of alluding to this being a real possibility, that this could be true, that there is an underground trafficking ring that is being ran by celebrities and elites, because you have Epstein and you have his island and you have the client list that nobody knows about. Well, who's on the client list? We know if they have all these victims, there's got to be clients. Well, they're not being arrested, which means they're probably elite and rich and powerful, right? It's easy to make that connection. So you have this conspiracy theory about adrenochrome, which is a pretty popular you know, conspiracy theory. So this website talks about it. Adrenochrome is a biomolecule produced in the body by the oxidation of the hormone adrenaline. So the idea is that once adrenaline mixes with your blood, the combination is a powerful drug that makes people younger when consumed by you know, older people. You might make them younger, is the conspiracy theory, right? So there was big talk about the movie Monsters Inc. Okay, so there was the whole conspiracy theory that went on for a while that said that the movie was based off of this whole adrenochrome principle, where, you know, the screams kind of work similar to how the adrenaline spikes in the blood, et cetera, et cetera. So it you know, Green Eye Girl, that's about how I feel. It made me sick. Some of the things that how deep you go, you know, and it's just thinking that this stuff could be real is scary. But I've been called crazy for thinking that this stuff could be real. And there's a lot of people that hear stuff like that because it is so sickening and it is so out there. People are like, there's no way. There's no way many people can't wrap their brain around an idea that it's possible that people would do something so horrific. And it just seems impossible to them that humans can be this horrific and this disgusting. And I guess that's the question, you know, that this whole exploration begs to offer is it possible? Is it possible that humans can be this utterly disgusting and be capable of doing these things? So here's the story that my fiance shared with me, which is about Ambrosia. So let's look up Ambrosia. So Ambrosia is a blood transfusion startup company. Now, this is back from 2019. So we'll see if we pull up some of the articles here. So here is one article from it. Now, all these articles date back to 2019. So here's one that says, good news, Peter Thiel and Count Dracula, company that sells young blood, is back in business. So the company came out and started, it was based off of this lab research study where they found that they used mice and they basically like intertwine the blood vessels of a young mouse with an older mouse. And by doing so was giving the older mouse the younger mouse's blood through a transfusion of sorts. Um, let's see if one of these talks about the mice. Um, so he never got FDA approval for his treatment. And because he couldn't get FDA approval, they had to shut the company down. But essentially, this company, who was ran by a man by the name of Jesse Karmazin, he believed that if you mix young blood into the body of an older person, it makes them younger. And he was charging $8,000 to fill your veins with young blood. So he's shuttering the company and started a new one. So basically, what they said was that he basically shut down the company and restarted it under a whole new name, Ivy League, and it still seems to be operating today. But it's all in Arabic, all the writing, and you can't really tell exactly what the company is doing and what it's about. It seems that it had to like do everything on the DL, but they're still kind of doing stuff from what I understand, but it's hard to find any information on it. But back in 2019, it was very public what they were doing, and what he was doing was he was filling veins with young blood. So it was a controversial blood transfusion startup called Ambrosia. And he was offering to fill a person's veins with the blood of a young person for $8,000. And he says this was despite little or no hard evidence that the procedure had any health benefits. So the company called Ambrosia shut down after FDA warned against the procedure, according to emails between the founder and a potential customer that Business Insider viewed on Wednesday. So this was back in 2019. Now, they say there's no scientific evidence that shows the infusions of blood from young people can boost health. Several experts who have spoken with Business Insider about the process in the past have raised red flags. Whatever that means, they didn't really go into detail. The company's founder isn't giving up on the idea. The startup has been reborn in the form of another company called IV Plasma, according to the email from founder Jesse Karmazin, which was dated on Tuesday. Again, this is back in 2019. So they were offering to fill up a person's veins with young blood for $8,000 for a liter, and they stopped doing the procedure. But then in June, Karmazin told customers that his startup was back up and running in San Francisco and in Tampa, Florida, according to the emails the Business Insider viewed. This procedure appeared to be legal because the FDA had approved blood transfusions for emergencies like car crashes and other life-saving procedures. Ambrosia was able to peddle the services as off-label treatments. Okay, so they were still able to do this, and they were able to do it under the guise of being an off-label treatment. According to a new email from Karmazin, the company has now been dissolved. As a reason, Karmazin cited the FDA's February email and said the agency was only allowing off-label blood transfusions to continue as part of the program known as an investigational new drug application, or IND. So he went on to continue it as on an investigational basis. An FDA spokesperson could not confirm or deny to Business Insider whether or not Ambrosia had been part of the program. Karmazin didn't immediately return a message seeking comment. He previously told Business Insider that he was charging $8,000 for 1 liter of young blood or $12,000 for 2 liters. He had also said the transfusions were safe and reliable. Those two words I don't want to hear. It's safe and reliable. I feel like that was shoved down our throats just to make us believe for so long on so many things. Despite little to no hard scientific evidence has demonstrated either its safety or its benefits. In the last email, he said the new company called IV Plasma will continue providing the procedures. Now, one thing that I think is really weird is like, cat girl, it's a good question. Like, where are they getting the young blood? How young is the blood? Who's consenting to are these minors that are giving the blood? There's a lot of questions that are to be raised here. If you guys have ever donated plasma, you know that there's risks involved with doing donations of plasma. I did it before, and it was for me, it was a traumatic experience because the nurse put the needle in wrong, and uh, she started it got punctured. It punctured the vein, and then they started putting the blood back in, and it was going in the wrong spot, and I ended up getting a hematoma, and I had my arm was hurting for weeks. It really sucked. It was a very traumatic experience for me, to say the least. I didn't want to be going through it. I asked them to stop the procedure. They held me down. They refused to stop it. um, and it just was not fun at all. I couldn't imagine forcing a child to go through something like this. Well, it wasn't that long ago that, let's see if I can find the article. Hold on a second. It's not there. So, okay, so this is a new article that has come out. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Go. No, I don't. I don't. Why? Really? Why are you doing that to me? So, millionaire used blood from a teenage son to reverse aging. Here we go. Let's see if this article will let me read it without paying. New York Post. They shouldn't make me pay to read it. All right, hold on. It's loading. Okay. Can y'all see? I don't think y'all can see what I'm reading yet. Hold on. See if we'll do video. This is him right here. Millionaire CEO infuses himself with blood from 17-year-old son to stay young forever. Now, this was published May 23rd of 2023. So this was just from a year ago, a little over a year ago. So the Johnson family completed what is the world's first multi-generational plasma exchange. So this is a theory now that is being, leashed onto by more than one person at this point. This is starting to become a little trendy here. Let me see something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See if y'all can see this here. Why it's not. Okay, wait a minute. Well, that's just weird. Because it's pulling it up like a new article. Yeah, I don't know why you guys can't see that. Hold on. He spends $2 million a year to look young. Now he's taken the blood of his teenage son. So, Brian Johnson Project Blueprint is an initiative aimed at maximally slowing your pace of aging and reversing the aging that occurs. That's kind of creepy. Like looking at the picture here. I don't know if y'all can see this. I don't think you can. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know why it's not letting. Because it pulls up a new window and then all of a sudden you can't see it. All right, hold up, hold up. I know how to do this. I got it. Hold up. I want to watch a video on it because this is like creepy looking at what's going on here. The guy looks too much like okay, there we go. So look at this picture, guys. Doesn't that look like, is that just me? Oh, I don't want to stop seeing ads. There you go. Look at how creepy that looks, guys. I mean, they look almost the same. The dad looks so young. Ugh, he's like obsessed with it. My son, father, and I completed the world's first multi-general plasma, once divided by the mind, now united by biology. Young plasma, which is collected from 18 to 25-year-olds, has been proven to repair skeletal, vascular, muscular, major organs, and cognitive deterioration associated with aging, according to the SPA's website. What SPA? In April, the trio visited the Resurgence Wellness, a medical spa in Arlington, Texas, which offers regenerative medical treatments. So the Johnson family seemed to have gone for the spa's young plasma therapy, where they take plasma. So this is something they're doing, like at a medical spa in Arlington, Texas. It's like a legit thing that they're doing. They offer regenerative medical treatments. The spa's young plasma therapy, where they take plasma from 18 to 19-year-olds and administer it into someone with the same blood type and sex. Young plasma, which is collected, has been proven to repair. Proven, they say. This is what they're saying. They're saying that it's been proven. I want to know who has proven it to do this. That's a little wild. You know, that's what I'm wondering. Like, who does this? I need you to. It seems like something out of like a Storybrooke Land. Like, you ever watch that show? Oh my gosh, I was, where everything was like a fairy tale. Like, it seems like some wicked witch of the West, like evil stepmother would do to their, to their stepdaughter or something. Oh, I need you to give me blood so I can be younger. I don't know. It just seems so creepy. And then you look at this picture here. It's just even more creepy looking. I don't know. That picture just kind of weirded me out. So that's the trio. That's the father, the son, and the oh my gosh. 3 generations right there. So dad looks young, but not that young, really. I mean, obviously, they still look their age. Grandpa definitely don't look younger. I don't think that the treatment's working for him so much so either. I mean, they all look appropriately their age in this picture. I feel like the last picture we were looking at was photoshopped a little bit. I feel like there's filters being used. Like, this has a filter. This photo right here, I'm thinking filtered. What do y'all think? Does that one? Yeah, creepy is putting it nicely. Do you think this one looks filtered to you? Because I'm looking at it going, that looks filtered. This one just looks weird to me. Like, just the pose that they're in. It's like the awkward family photo. Real life vampires. That's what I'm seeing. This is just reminding me of those awkward family photos. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's just a really awkward family photo. Like, what is going on there? What is going on there? So let's see what this video has to bring us. Business is Can y'all hear this video?
You get advanced AI.
Well, the science is actually pretty fascinating.
Well, let me know. Can y'all hear
Regular
that?
transfusions of the blood of a younger, physically fit donor can significantly retard the aging process.
Brian Johnson.
He calls himself the world's most measured human.
He's spending $2 million a year on a team of 30 doctors.
To reverse aging.
Whoa.
They called out the bomb squad. They brought the dog. Wow. As far as I know, it's the first time this has ever been done. You ever done a multi-generational exchange?
Ever.
If you start to feel like your eyes start to itch, that's the first sign of a reaction.
What?
Good morning. The challenging thing is I need to eat this somehow before we get on the airplane. I'll get my clothes on, get this packed up. I'm ready to go. Are we on time? 30 minutes. So packing really light today, 24-hour trip. So just the essentials. And this, I'll show this to my dad and say, hey, Dad, you're going to get this tomorrow in your plasma. At Blueprint, we have evaluated hundreds of longevity therapies. And I thought it would be pretty.
He took this guy. I'm sorry, I can't help it. This guy took one look at his dad and was like, I don't want to look like you. Son, come here. I need you. We're going to have to do something about this. Oh, my God. That's just wrong. That's just wrong.
Pretty epic if my son, my father, and I completed the world's first multi-generational plasma exchange. Plasma is a part of our blood. So when we get our blood drawn, we see a bunch of red stuff. A part of that is the plasma, which can be separated from it. And it started with this really wild experiment where 2 mice were actually sewn together to share the same circulatory system. It was an old mouse and a young mouse. The results showed that the old mouse got younger. The proposal is not that my father and I get sewn together. The proposal is that I donate my younger plasma to my father. It's possible that this will help him in a variety of ways. There have been several human trials since the mouse study, but young plasma is still an experimental invasive therapy. Even though we completed a battery of baseline measurements on him, there's some...
Now, let me just ask y'all a question. because, I feel like within the last few years, it's blown up in popularity, these CSL plasma centers, the donations, bio, plasma, BioLife, all these different plasma donation centers, and they're actually paying you to donate your plasma now. They'll pay you sometimes up to $100 a visit to donate plasma. And they say they're using it for drugs, right? To make medications. So when you see what they're doing and you see what's going on, where now you have an actual study that was done where they took a young mouse and sewed it to an older mouse, and it made the older mouse younger, and it reversed the aging or whatever. You got people that really truly believe this stuff and now are using it. So is it really that far of a leap to go from this to an idea that the elite have been doing this underground for a lot longer than they've been doing it publicly? Is it hard to believe that maybe this has been going on a lot longer secretly than it has publicly? Is that impossible to believe? Is it impossible to believe that instead of doing blood transfusions, they were initially drinking the blood and doing it that way? I mean, to me, it doesn't seem so far-fetched anymore. It doesn't seem so far-fetched, some of these ideas. That's all I'm saying. So this is very this is all new to me.
And we're leaving at 10:30.
You know what? I might just rep the merch.
Nice.
A year ago, I was living with my mom in Virginia, and I had grown up in a religion for all my life, but I'd never really been into it. And a couple years back, my dad actually had left the religion, and he was sort of the outsider, kept at bay by my siblings and I, because he didn't check the religion box. He could not be trusted. I started to develop a relationship with my dad, and we began working on practical things together, like my homework. And slowly I began to develop a trust for him, because I saw that in the areas he's helped me in life, he has had a good track record at helping me succeed. And so that sort of bled into other areas of my life. And eventually I came to the conclusion that I wanted to leave the church I grew up in and come out to California to live with him. And it was the best decision.
Is anybody else getting cult vibes? Is anybody else getting cult vibes right now? Because I am getting 1000% cult vibes right now. Hey, Nat. Hey, Lori. Thank you for coming. If y'all, oh my gosh. This shit is wild. I am getting cult vibes with this kid. I think he's like, I grew up in the church. I couldn't trust my dad because he wasn't part of the church. I'm getting cult vibes. And then now he's like, I got to donate all my plasma to my dad to keep him young. This poor kid. And I'm coming back to this comment up here, right here. Something ain't right. Something ain't right.
Decision I've made in my life.
Wait a minute. Let's back that up a minute.
And it was,
I
came to the conclusion that I wanted to leave the church I grew up in and come out to California to live with him. And it was the best decision I've made in my life.
That was really weird. Did y'all catch that? He's like, I decided to leave the church, and he took this big gulp. Like, I decided to leave the church and come and live with him. Gulp. And it was the best decision of my entire life. But he said that like Ben Stein. like dry your eye, no emotion. It was the best decision of your entire life, and you have no emotion when you're saying it. You should be ecstatic. I was ecstatic. This was a great decision. Not like this was a great decision. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that it was a great decision.
Hey, Talmadge.
There's a delay. Hey, Talmadge.
Well, so I was updating my algorithm of the number of cameras on you. So it seems like you're doing really well.
I think so.
I've been so proud of Talmadge because he has not been on camera at all. And Talmadge is learning extraordinarily fast. I'm impressed. We are on time as an alt. Nutter Butters, little snack size, and then cookie size Oreos. And you know what? With this option set, we will choose nutty.
Oreos aren't a big part of the blueprint.
You just want to check in self-service? There are so many things that can go wrong. We've planned this entire thing to happen in 24 hours. Not a single thing can go wrong. So I'm pretty nervous about this.
I'm actually excited. This is like the first thing where I'm actually having something done to my body significantly that's supposed to help it besides blueprint.
Yeah. Do I want your plasma? Like, how's your plasma been? What's the warning label here?
Wait a minute. How is this helping his body? How is this helping his body? Because I've heard how it's going to help Dad. I've heard how it's going to help Grandpa. But what does the kid get out of it? I don't think he's getting anything out of it. I don't think he's getting anything out of it at all. Maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong here? Do y'all see where the kid's getting anything out of this?
For about 16 years of my life, I've had unlimited sugar, so just be ready for that.
We're 34,000 feet. We're flying to Dallas. We're about an hour into the flight. We just had some food. Yeah, we're going to go into land. I'm going to see my dad, which I'm really excited about because I haven't seen him in about a year. We talk a lot on the phone, but I haven't been with him. Talmadge is right behind me. I need to check in to see what he's eating to make sure his plasma's okay. All right, so I'll see you guys 2 hours. We'll be landing. I'll see you in Dallas. We just arrived in Dallas, waiting to find out where our baggage claim is going to be. Don't know if the bags made it through. The plasma did. We smuggled it inside of each of us, so that was good. I'll drive. My name is Brian. I'll be your driver today. This is Dad. Wow. Dad, you look amazing. I think that's the first time my son and my father and I have all hugged together. That was a beautiful moment that I will never forget. Yeah.
Dad, you look amazing. That's his first concern. His first thought was his dad's appearance. How does he look? What does he look like? Does he look good? He's obsessed. They're obsessed with like appearance and looks and like they want to be, they got to keep this beauty forever. It's just age gracefully. Stop trying to fight it.
Where do you want?
Yeah, go ahead next to Talmadge.
Okay, Dad.
I get a lot of meanness directed towards me for Project Blueprint. It does something special to just get under people's skins. They seem to just boil and they want to just unleash on me. I do have to confess, I do love it. All right, let's do the first one. I hope he gets hit by a bus.
Oh my God.
The thing on this though, I wonder what happens if a bus gets hit by me? Maybe he chokes on a piece of broccoli or mushroom. This is actually legit. There's there's so much irony in life. And if I were to die, it would probably be choking on broccoli. Good comment. We arrived at the hotel, and the remaining thing we have to do is get pictures. There's only 20 minutes of sunlight left, and also my bedtime is fast approaching, and I just don't negotiate with my bedtime, ever.
And actually go, physically go. Pull him up, pull him up. Woo! Richard, I appreciate you. Have your dad.
Who else was amused by that? I don't negotiate bedtime ever. We don't. No, there is absolutely zero negotiation on my bedtime. My bedtime is my bedtime. Oh my God. He must be a real party pooper. Jiminy Cricket. Can you imagine him at parties? Oh, I'm sorry. It's my bedtime. No negotiating. Everybody must leave now. What a Debbie Downer.
Cool. You look great. Dad, you want to take center?
If you had to summarize, what would you say?
You can think about this as things an individual can do to be healthy and well. We typically think about it as an individual doing something, but rarely this intimate of a setting where you're exchanging biofluids in a way that's meaningfully going to impact your body.
I feel like today that pool experience was like like any complications, the humor, everything that was sand, like everything that went with it. It was just like the culmination of all those factors that made it one of those experiences that were like, shit, that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's his greatest project, his everything that he's throwing everything in, and a son that adopts that, and then me being able to participate. Yeah, that's kind of where my mind is.
Like I guess the experience itself, I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm excited.
Okay, I might be looking a little bit too hard at this, but I think they shaved their legs. I don't think neither one of them have no hair on their legs. Maybe they just got really fine hair. Maybe it's just white or gray, or I don't know, but it looks like they shaved their legs. I'm just saying. I don't see no hair. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but
I'm just grateful that we're connected as a family. We're ready for the next day. I also feel equal anxiety for tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be difficult in a different way. We don't know how Talmadge and my dad are going to respond. We don't know if the exchanges are going to go over well. We don't know if there's going to be complications and unforeseen side effects. So I'm equally relieved and equally anxious about tomorrow. Okay, good night, guys.
Nice.
See you.
Pound it.
Yeah,
Noggin.
that's good enough.
See ya.
What? The plasma just got decorated. Love flows from the heart. I guess it's really the vein, but this is amazing. A long, healthy life united by the beauties of biology and not divided by the tribalism, destruction, and violence of the mind. Hey, good morning. This is Dad. This is Chris.
Hi, Chris. How are you? Nice to meet you. Did you say, where's the old guy?
No,
Is that what he said?
Yeah. Thank you. Hello.
Hey.
You ever done a multi-generational exchange? Never.
So Father Johnson, how are you feeling today?
Absolutely spectacular.
Did you eat a good breakfast?
No, he didn't feed me. He's over there eating the blueprint, and he gives me a muffin.
Well, I'm going to bring you some candy bars. Is that okay?
You're my new best friend. Thank you.
Plasma exchanges have been going on electively for probably about the past 8 to 10 years. More often, people have used plasma transfusions and young plasma for hair regeneration, so injecting into the scalp. If you think about it, people have been donating plasma since the 50s and 60s. It's beneficial for the donor as well as the recipient.
All right, well, Talmadge will be up first. Is that cool?
Whoa.
One liter out, 1 liter in for me, 1 liter out for me, liter into Dad. So I mean, I guess it's with Talmadge. He's been on Blueprint for 2 years now with me, and we do all of our blood work together. And you're right, if you look at the results of our blood work, we're almost indistinguishable.
I could be a part of a Blueprint therapy that would help reverse my age and my dad's age and my grandpa's age all at the same time. And so I was ecstatic to have that opportunity to be a part of that.
okay, wait a minute. So now they're claiming that it's going to reduce the kid's age too. So they're saying that it's going to reduce the aging of the dad, the grandpa, and the kid. This is...
That's in the bag.
That's a nice looking bag.
Normally, this filter is filled with all kinds of junk that your blood has inside of it, but this is completely clean, and there's usually something in there, but there's nothing in here.
I created this human. He's now almost 18 years old. We're now doing this together. Like, I never imagined in my entire life this kind of relationship with my child. Thanks for the plasma.
No worries.
All right, Dad.
Get down here. Let me give you a hug. Go out of there.
I don't want to ruin your needle.
You're not going to my needle.
And there are parallels in my childhood and also Talmadge's childhood. My parents divorced when I was 3 years old. My father was understood as this ostracized, outcast person. He didn't help himself with some of the struggles he had in his life, where as a child, and I'm trying to process who my dad is and what he's doing. And, this is...
What do you guys think of his nail polish? I wonder if it glows in the dark, because it almost looks like glow in the dark nail polish. All of a sudden, I'm going back to that picture.
This is not a judgment on my father. He's had his own life journey. That's fine. Ironically, I lived a similar version with my children.
Brian has been a magnificent kid. Through the problems that I had, he was always the one that would reach out. But, there's still that hurt. And so Brian now went through where he faced physical symptoms, everything in his reconciliation. And he had to pull himself apart. And so as he's gone through that process, then he's been able to look at me and say, I get it. It was not an act of cruelty, misjudgment, lack of character. And so that has resulted in what I see as this kind of unification where we get each other,
Aww.
We're talking church stuff.
Oh, is that right?
He is like, Dad is so emotional right now. Aww.
Don't pull it down. Love you, Dad.
Yeah, love you. What a great experience. You feel the love?
Yes.
All right.
When we got back in the bus, the mood had changed. We all felt like a team, even though it was Talmadge, myself, and my dad doing the plasma exchange. Everyone there was now invested in this relationship, and we all were in the celebratory mood, and it felt like family. All right. Well, today we're at the end of our epic adventure, the multi-generational plasma exchange. Dad needs to catch his flight. Talmadge and I are going to go have a celebratory party. Amazing day. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us. See you. Text us when you check in, okay?
Look at that stud walking off in the distance. He must feel good with this new plasma. People are going to start staring. We're like, who's this dude?
This trip was remarkable. It honestly exceeded my expectations in every possible way. The multi-generational plasma, it was a first in the world to ever be done. Also, it was an emotional experience for Talmadge, my dad, and I. We were able to reconcile. We were divided by the mind, and we were unified by our biology. And it was sweet and caring and loving, and it was just one of the most beautiful experiences of my entire life. I'm appreciative that we are able to do this on a journey with you, and hope you enjoyed it. All right, now for one last bit, for the 100,000th subscriber, I will give you 1 liter of my plasma. Subscribe below. Just kidding.
Just kidding. A little bit of truth in every joke. I don't know. And they have a long why I'm spending millions to be 18 again, longevity world record. Is it vanity or is it health reasons? Is he wanting to do it because he's obsessed with looking a certain way? Do you think that they're obsessed with like their appearance, or is it really a health matter? I'm a little bit interested in this because some of the things that he's saying, I feel like it's vanity. And maybe that's just me from my own personal experiences growing up with a cosmetic dentist who was extremely vain. But I could see my dad doing some shit like this. I really could. This is quite disturbing, but it puts things into perspective, and it makes you realize that now all of a sudden the adrenochrome theories don't seem so outlandish anymore. They don't seem so crazy. When you realize how close to reality it really is. So I find this rabbit hole quite interesting, because so many people can't wrap their head around it, so if you can show people how like it is possible, even plausible, that this is happening, look where it's actually happening. I mean, you can see these people, these companies are legit doing this. So I don't understand why these conspiracy theories become so hard to believe for so many when it's literally right here in your face. But it's just like the big notorious, B.I.G. with his lyrics to Hypnotize, where it's right there in your face, but people still don't want to see what's right there in front of them. They only see what they want to see. They create this reality in their head, and then they manipulate everything to fit into what they already want to believe, in my opinion. So did y'all hear about the Mama Tot drama? I got on this kick today where I was watching. Let's see, now I already got it. Oh, see, now Ophelia's. See, so basically what happened was Miss Mama Tot, Ophelia Shoe Lover. I don't know if y'all follow her. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't have no issues with Mama Tot. But I think Mama Tot's a character. Okay. It's a character on TikTok. I don't think that we're seeing 100% of who Mama Tot really is. She only shows what she wants to show, which is, fine. I got no hard feelings for that. It just is what it is. It's a character. So you got to take it for what it is. It's a character. So is it real? Are you seeing all of this character? Is there parts of this character that you don't know? Are you falling for somebody based on only the good? Would you still love them if you saw the bad sides? Is basically where I start to question, because I see a lot with the celebrity idolization. Okay. And a lot of that spills over into the influencer world, where you got these big influencers, people like Mama Tot, people like, UD, and these other large creators that have millions of followers that sometimes it doesn't matter what they say. People will never believe anything negative about this person, because they've created this persona that it's kind of like when you get into a relationship with somebody that, you know, it can be very unhealthy because you create this image of what you wanted them to be. And then after 10, 15 years, you realize that they're not who you painted them. And it was really because they just didn't, you created a person you wanted and you thought that they were them, but in reality, you weren't looking at who they really were. You were just looking at what you wanted them to be. And this is kind of similar idea with celebrities. So you have Mama Tot who come out and she was really upset about what happened to the people in North Carolina. And she had made a video addressing, we'll see if we get, she deleted it, but I feel like other people have it out there. So she was really upset and she made a video basically saying so much. So she says, I'm really mad. And she was upset that people in North Carolina weren't getting help from FEMA. And she made a video saying how upset she was. She didn't say anything political in this video from what I listened to. She didn't mention Trump. She didn't mention Kamala. She didn't mention Joe Biden. She didn't mention politics at all. She just stated that she was upset for the people in North Carolina for what they were going through and not getting the help that they needed by FEMA. And because she said that, people assumed that she was a MAGA supporter because she was running with what people were claiming was a conspiracy theory that FEMA wasn't helping. And people were saying it was a MAGA conspiracy theory and that she was spreading it. And they came out at her and were attacking her and basically calling her a Trump supporter and MAGA. Well, she come out and made a video in response to that and said, no, I thought y'all knew based on the type of person that I am that I'm not voting for Trump. Basically alluding to this idea that, you know, she's a good person, so of course she's not voting for Donald Trump because, well, good people don't vote for Donald Trump. Let me see here. I can play this. Can y'all hear this?
You know that man that you just get so angry you just cry. Imagine walking outside of your house and see nothing that.
Hold on, let's try that again. Let's try it again. Can you all hear this?
Because that's hell. You know that man that you just get so angry that you just cry back. You're so mad you just cry back. That's so mad. Like these lost everything. Everything. Imagine walking outside of your house and see nothing that you ever worked hard for just gone. I've seen houses just completely just slide down the mountain. I'm seeing people making videos because they can't find family members. How are they supposed to apply for stuff then if they don't have electricity? That does not get their baby fed in this moment. Like, the job they had, the building is gone. Like, I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad. You ain't mad.
Okay, so that was her video. That was all she said. She's mad, fighting mad, saying, how are these people supposed to get help from the government and fill out paperwork when they got no electricity? So people took that video and took it as her criticizing the government and saying that the government ain't helping, and ergo she must be a Trump supporter because she's criticizing the Biden administration because they're not helping, right? So then she comes out and makes an apology video. So let me see if I can find that one.
Okay, good.
Of course, I didn't say
Jeremy.
that.
At that time, I was not aware of any FEMA help or on the way or had been there. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about that. I'm just one of those people who get pissed off when I have to see people suffer, you know? But I didn't know anything about it. And it's very frustrating that people took that video and they actually lied on me. They actually said they heard me say that FEMA and the government wasn't doing enough. And I never thought that I would ever have to say that I didn't vote for Trump. I thought people just knew that by my actions. I didn't even vote for him last year, so I mean the last time. But when I made the video, politics wasn't on my mind. It was just the people.
So that was her apology video. Okay, so listen to it one more time.
I was not aware of any FEMA help or on the way or had been there. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about that. I'm just one of those people who get pissed off when I have to see people suffer, you know? But I didn't know anything about it. And it's very frustrating that people took that video and they actually lied on me. They actually said they heard me say that FEMA and the government wasn't doing enough. And I never thought that I would ever have to say that I didn't vote for Trump. I thought people just knew that by my actions.
I never thought I'd have to say that I didn't vote for Trump. I thought people would know that just based on my actions. Now, a lot of people that were Trump supporters took that as, you know, her saying, well, I didn't vote for Trump because look at my actions. I'm a good person. I do good things. How does that make me vote for Trump? But here's the thing. She didn't say that her actions were necessarily better than a Trump supporter's or that she was more wrapped in goodness than Trump supporters. She just said based on her actions, she would think that people knew that she didn't vote for Trump. Maybe in her mind, she's taking this as like her actions being like, I don't know. I don't watch Mama Tot, so I don't know what her actions are. But like me, I'm very openly pro 2A. Okay. Very openly pro 2A, very openly. There's certain things I'm very open about. So one might take these actions and think, oh, well, she's a Republican. She's going to vote for whoever's a Republican because she's pro 2A, or, you know, she's likes less government or whatever. Maybe Mama Tot in her mind thought that she was doing things that made her more representative of being on the left side of politics, not necessarily being more good and more wholesome, but just being different. I don't know how she meant it, but I can definitely understand why people took it the way they did, as an insult, by her saying, well, by my actions, you should know that I would never vote for Trump, because she made it seem like there was something wrong with people who would vote for Trump, like they weren't good people. And that's, I think, how a lot of people took it. Now, whether she intended it to come across that way or not, I'm not sure. I could see where, maybe her words maybe were misconstrued. Maybe she didn't mean it in that way. But I could definitely understand why people took it that way. What do y'all think on that? Do you feel like she was being political or not really? And then her apology, did you feel like it was genuine? Did you think it was genuine? Do you think that she genuinely thinks that Trump supporters are bad people? I'm curious about that because it seems like she's lost a lot of support in a very short amount of time because of those comments. Personally, I just don't. Mama Todd's very, very nice. Like on her platform, she's very, I'm yet to see her, even when she's not being nice, she sounds so nice. She got that sweet Southern drawl, very kind, kind of loving, nurturing way about her. But I look at like reality and what I've seen in my reality in my life, and it's a character. It's a character because people like that, they're put on a show. They're put on a show because nobody's like that all the time. There's definitely parts that we're not seeing. There's two sides to everybody. And you're only seeing one side. So it makes you wonder if she's being genuine all the time, So I can definitely see where people might feel like she's not being genuine, or they don't trust her, or they don't want to follow her. But people get disillusioned with their, again, with the love for celebrities, and they don't look at the real person. They just look at the character of who they are. So then there's this whole drama with Udi. Okay, so you guys know Officer Udi. I say that correctly, Udi. So I'm not been one to really follow Officer Udi too much, but I'll be honest. I looked at his content, came across some stuff today, looked at some of his content. I've seen him a few times. I don't have nothing against the guy. I don't dislike him. I don't love him. I don't not like him. I'm really kind of indifferent. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm not really into like the popular cliques and like being part of the cool kids club and the popular kids club. And I feel like there's like this group of like people like at TikTok that are, when he got like these million followers plus, they're all part of, it's almost like Hollywood all over again. It's like one big club and you ain't in it, if you know what I mean. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on within this club that us normal everyday folk ain't going to be privy to, if you know what I mean. And that's kind of how I feel, where a lot of these people are putting on a show. This is a job to them. Okay. They're making big money doing this. This is their job. This is their career. So they have to keep playing this character. They're basically an actor, and this is TV. But it's not. It's social media. Well, social media is taking over the entertainment world. So whereas Hollywood and your actors and your musicians and all that used to be on TV, nobody watches TV anymore. Everybody's on the internet. Everybody's doing social media. Social media has taken TV to the next level, where you're not just watching TV. It's now interactive. And now you can be interacting with your favorite TV celebrity or TV star, i.e. social media influencer, which just gives you a different experience altogether. I think her initial response of anger was very genuine. I think she was genuinely very upset and very angry at the whole North Carolina thing. I do think Mama Tot was very angry and upset about it. And I think that was a genuine response. And I think that she got attacked for criticizing the government. And I think that in her defense, she, said something because she got defensive. And a lot of times when we get defensive, we say things that maybe can be easily taken out of context. I'm kind of indifferent for Mama Tot too. I don't hate her. I don't love her. I like her. I like that she was helping North Carolina, regardless of her political beliefs. I don't necessarily take the comment that she said, and I don't think she hates Trump supporters. I don't think that she thinks the lesser of Trump supporters necessarily. I think it just came out wrong. I don't think that she clearly got her true feelings across, in my opinion. I think that even if Mama Tot's playing a character, her character is a very sweet, loving person. And to be able to pull off playing that character as much as she does, even if it's not 100% genuine, to be able to pull it off, as often as she does, there's got to be a lot of goodness in her heart. And I really, truly, and honestly do feel that way about her. I don't think she's perfect. I'm sure she's got a lot of skeletons, but overall, I think she's generally a pretty decent person, I would have to say, if I had to take a guess on it. Yeah, I never did follow her, though. Even though I think she's a genuine, nice person, again, I don't feel like her content is really, I'm not really a big fan of the content. It just doesn't, it's not my cup of tea. It doesn't seem real to me. It just seems a little bit, it seems a little fake to me. I don't hate her. Like I said, I don't have nothing against her. I need a little bit more real. I need a little bit more blunt, a little bit more, I like a little bit harder. I don't want somebody to be all sugarcoating everything for me all the time. I want real. I would rather have real, not fake nice, That's just not me. I would rather I'd rather have you hurt me with the cold hard truth than a beautiful lie. But that's just me. So Officer Udi had an issue with a young woman, Kelsey. She had a Cody and Kelsey drama. And this girl, Kelsey, is accusing Udi of grabbing her behind at a club 4 years ago. So she's just now coming out with this information 4 years later, saying that he basically was groping her and assaulting her. And he 100% denies it. There are friends of his, female friends, that allege that they were at this party where this happened, and they say he never touched her. She's saying it did happen. So there's, the whole he said, she said bullshit, basically, is what it boils down to. Well, this is something that's coming out 4 years after the fact. So this is a big question with women where it comes to, like, why wait 4 years to bring it up? There's many reasons why women may wait to say something in regards to this. Just because a woman's waited doesn't mean it's not true. But there's definitely a lot of questions. Just because a woman says it doesn't mean that you can take that as a fact either. I mean, you can't condemn a man with no evidence. There has to be some sort of evidence, and her just saying it isn't enough for me. I need more than that to condemn a man. So there's definitely a lot of drama there going back and forth. but I'm curious if y'all have seen it and what y'all's thoughts are on it. Do y'all think that she's telling the truth? Do you think that this is something that Officer Udy has done? It seems to me like almost a repeat of the whole Kingery situation that happened a couple of years ago, where Kingery was dragged for allegedly assaulting somebody, and come to find out the female had made up lies to try and ruin Kingery and gain clout and favor on the TikTok streets for herself. And it actually had come out that some of the women were actually assaulting Kingery. And some of the things that they were saying could be taken as a verbal sexual harassment. So, you know, it's definitely a touchy subject to talk about. There's a lot of people kind of throwing in their 2 cents. You got Quinn Pratt, who's jumped on the defense of Udy, and y'all know I'm not a fan of Quinn Pratt. Even though he did do a nice gesture and donate for the North Carolina thing, it doesn't change who he is otherwise. And some of the things that he's done and some of the allegations that are out there against him. But at the same time, they're just allegations. Just because these allegations are being said doesn't make them true. But y'all do need to be aware that these allegations are being made. And for me, if I'm hanging out with somebody and there's allegations about them that are floating around, I'm going to keep my eye on them a little bit harder. I'm going to be a little bit more mindful and a little bit more aware of my surroundings, especially if these are people that I'm friends with. I would be concerned if anybody that I was friends with had those kinds of allegations being made about them. It's definitely concerning. But I'm not one to just jump on the bandwagon and believe without some sort of evidence, which is why it's so important that we empower women to speak up and say something when these things happen right away. Right away. These things need to be brought to light right away, for the protection of other women. Yeah, very interesting. So him and his wife split up years ago because he cheated, but I don't trust everything I see on the internet. I just seen a video. I thought he was getting remarried. I thought he was talking about getting married, but it could have been an old video. Yep. So very, very interesting drama going around on the streets. And then, of course, we cannot forget about good old Seth and Bullhorn Betty. So Bullhorn Betty, I guess the restraining orders were granted, and Bullhorn Betty is to stay away from the Proudfoots. And, her First Amendment right doesn't apply to being allowed to harass the family of a missing child. And Seth and Tony seemed very, very upset about this. They went on court TV and they absolutely blasted Katie and Christopher again outright, saying that they believe that these two are somehow directly involved with the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. I guess Tony has some bombshell news that's going to be dropping, which is like, if you're gonna drop it, just drop it. If you got something, just say it. What's the alluding about? What's the, well, we're gonna drop some information soon? Well, if you've been sitting on this, and the way he said it made it sound like he had been sitting on it for quite some time, why are you sitting on all this information for some time and not spilling the beans? when you need us, why are we waiting all this time to say this very important information that's going to be dropped? Doesn't make any sense. It seems like another ploy, another show, another pathetic attempt to try and pin, anything on his ex-wife, because he's got an obsession with her that is quite disturbing, to say the least. And they got very uncomfortable at the idea of Christopher winking at. Do you see the way that they got at Vinny with the Court TV interview? I don't know if I could find that, but Seth and Tony both got very uncomfortable bringing up the help that Vinny sent on court trial date because Christopher had winked at her, and this made them so uncomfortable. It was not even funny. So this was on, I believe Jay for Justice had it. Let me see. Maybe it was B. Yeah, here it is.
But I will tell you and your audience that there is going to be some more information come out in the next week or two. I can't get any more specific than that, but I think that there's going to be some more information come out that will be very shocking.
Yeah.
And it will be from us. It won't be from law enforcement. And I think that the people that are on the fence about what they think might have happened may end up being pushed to one side or the other. But I can also tell you from being involved in Caleb Harris's case that there are a lot of times that
Thank you,
publicly
K-Bell.
law enforcement will say Jane and John are not suspects. Jane and John are not persons of interest, knowing that if they were to come out and announce that, you'd have a litany of problems.
Yeah, no, I know. And, I've known some info that's probably going to come out at some point. It's not mine to put out, and I would never. But I do think that there has been sort of, look, if it was me, if it was my son, I probably wouldn't be as diplomatic. I mean, I would probably just tell everybody.
I can tell you that I strongly agree with that statement. And a lot of the things I know are the things that you know. We've talked about those things in private. And I can tell you right now that Seth Rogers is a lot more composed as a father, knowing what he knows, what you know, and what I know than what you or I would be.
Right.
These comments are hilarious. Why not put it out now? What are they waiting for? That was exactly what I said. If it's not from law enforcement, it doesn't matter. This is not a hunt for Sebastian any longer. This is turning into a hate campaign against CP and KP. I'm waiting to see law enforcement step in on this. They're going to push it till they have new homes in Tennessee, in my opinion. This is ridiculous. If they have that kind of information, give it to LE. Why do they need to turn the public against Chris and Katie so desperately that they are constantly bad-mouthing them and dropping hints at worse to come? It's more important to them to ensure that the public hate Chris and Katie than it is to find Sebastian at this point. I 1000% agree with that sentiment. If they have all this information, why isn't LE dealing with it? If it's personal information to hurt Katie, well, Sean better be careful. I'm sure LE is watching and listening. Maybe Sean should have thought a little bit more carefully before letting the internet be Sebastian's babysitter, then lying about it for weeks. The investigation could have went a totally different way if he was honest. He wasted precious time. Wow. Very, very interesting. Well, you know, Bullhorn Betty is going to be getting, I think, more than she bargained for in all of this whole thing. I always like to see what Steve Fisher has to say. So I always go run over to Twitter because I'm a big fan of Steve Fisher. Oh, look at this. 6 hours ago, Dwayne Dog Chapman puts this out. And Dog Nation and at Private at Night has increased the reward for the whereabout and location of Sebastian Raindrake Watchers to $125,000. I feel it. Nick the Hat says, I feel in the air. We've heard your lies for 30 days. The nation has been spoon-fed them for 7 months. So long, skunks. Time to light up American green. They will hear us loud and clear as their time has finally come. I remember what my last weekend felt like before gearing up for court. Unfortunately for them, they don't know it's their last relaxed weekend for the next several years. We don't shrink from controversy. We welcome it. You wanted our attention. You've got it undivided. We literally counted how many words you've uttered since February. Don't believe me? On September 17th, you made 91 statements in just over an hour and a half. Who is he talking about? Is he talking about Cluminati? I know he's got a hard on for her. Okay. Steve Fisher investigates. He says he's going back out to go look for Sebastian again. So he said this yesterday. His next flight is booked. Looks like he'll be going out. Oh, he blacked out the date. Sorry, Thursday is what it says. So this is what he says about Bullhorn Betty. I stand by what I said a few weeks ago. Bullhorn Betty will get 10 days per violation of the restraining order. That means 60 days for the violations when they're heard in November. Meanwhile, we will continue to see more empty hype posts from Dog and his show's writers with their tired claims that the fuse has been lit. The fuse was supposedly lit last week, the week before, and the week before that. How many times has Dog actually set foot in Tennessee since he started exploiting Sebastian for his latest PR scam? 0. What about the writers, producers like Nick or the lawyers? Also 0. Using a missing 15-year-old as cash grab is despicable. When you exploit a child for profit, You deserve everything coming your way. Karma is a bitch. And on a matter of if you're a grifter, felon, father, or hype man, karma will take you out at the knees when the time is right. Now I'm going to get back to actually working to make a difference and helping people. If Bullhorn Betty, Dog Nick, the lawyers, or anyone else want to see what actual help looks like, follow along, or I can refer you to some hardworking, genuine people in Tennessee that can show you what service to others actually looks like. Enjoy jail. Hashtag Bullhorn Betty. I will stay in touch and remind you why you are there. Wow. Now, I have not visited Bullhorn Betty's page since all this came to light. I'm definitely curious. Let's go check out what's going on over at Bullhorn Betty's page. Is she off? Did she like delete her account? I would be so lucky. No. The girl can wish.
Dude!
And is she losing weight because of stress, do y'all think? She looks like she's losing weight to me. But that could just be me. Yeah, I want to see the receipts.
Chicken place in Nashville.
Oh, I can't even deal with her. So she's still talking about Sebastian. She's not stopped. But from my understanding, she's still allowed to talk about the Sebastian Rogers case. So I'm not sure what exactly the restraining order prevents her from doing. I'm sure it prevents her from contacting the Proudfoots in any way, from going to their house, from visiting them, from encouraging others to do that. But she definitely, in my opinion, takes things way too far. And, you know, the hypocrisy in this case is really disturbing when you have, you know, the father who is attacking his ex-wife at every turn, but then plays the victim every time anybody, you know, comes after him in any way. Is like, how dare you attack a grieving father? Well, when the grieving, quote unquote, grieving father is attacking his ex-wife, who is also a grieving mother the entire time, I think tit for tat, it opens himself up to attacks, and, you know, one turn deserves another. So, you know, he wants to question why people are treating him the way he's treating. He should look in the mirror and look at his own actions and see why he's encouraging that behavior towards him. So that's my feelings on that. I really appreciate y'all coming and joining tonight on the live. I love you all, and stay salty, my friends. We'll catch you next time.